Messi!
Yeah.
Messi! 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 Who the is that?
Come on, good flag.
Delete!
Oh, he's slow as man. He's isn't he? Oh my God, bro. I don't even know how to know if it's a walkout.
Usman Dembele.
Can I? Oh my God, one pace.
You might think FIFA is just another sports game, but what if I told you that EA has been running a financial hustle so elaborate, so manipulative, that it's turning one of the longest running franchise in gaming into a digital casino? Welcome to the world of microtransactions, random packs, and endless loops of cash-grabbing greed. Let me break it down for you, and trust me, it's worse than you think. Hey, it's Pixelated Quest. Today we're exposing the truth behind EA's FIFA franchise and why players are fed up. Stick around because things are about to get intense. Hit the like button if you think EA needs to change, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. Let's get a conversation going. For the sake of this video, I will be referring to the current EA football game titled EA Sports FC 25 as FIFA or FIFA 2025, since that is how I perceive this game. You've probably heard of FIFA Ultimate Team, or FUT, the heart and soul of the FIFA experience in the last decade. But what if I told you that it's not just a game mode? It's EA's most profitable business model. FUT is not about building a team, it's about building EA's bank account. For years, EA has been capitalizing on one of the most addictive features in gaming: loot boxes. In simpler terms, gaming disguised as a game mechanic. What's happening here is simple, yet sinister. You're opening packs, hoping for those legendary cards, the best of the best, but all you're really doing is throwing money into a virtual slot machine. And the best part? EA knows the odds are stacked against you. They made it that way. What about the rare cards? The ones that will give you an advantage over other players? They're so difficult to get that the only way to secure them is to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But it's even more manipulative than that. You do not know what you're going to get. You could spend $100 and get a bunch of players that you'll never use. Or you could spend even more money and not get a single player you actually want. And that's what makes it a gamble. So why do people keep playing this? Why do they keep spending money on these packs? It's because EA has perfected the art of addiction. And no, I'm not being hyperbolical. EA knows that the key to getting players hooked is a little thing called FOMO, the fear of missing out. Mixed together with your favorite pastime hobby and the hypothetical possibility of getting the best players in the game results in an absolutely addictive cocktail. Each time a limited time event hits FIFA, like Team of the Week or a special Black Friday pack, players are bombarded with the idea that if they do not act now, they'll miss out on something huge. That exclusive Ronaldo card, which gets announced during a live event, gone after a few days once the special event ends. Those special limited edition packs, only available for a short time. And EA makes sure that the players feel like they have to spend money to get in on the action. It's psychological warfare. EA uses powerful techniques to make you feel like you're part of something big, something exclusive, just by buying more packs. And the worst part, you start to feel like you're missing out if you don't open them. The thrill of what's inside becomes addictive. It's like a slot machine, and every time you pull the virtual lever, you're hoping for a jackpot. But what happens when you don't get what you want? You just open more packs trying to fix your bad luck. It's a vicious cycle. The more you open, the more they control your spending habits. You become part of a system that is designed to take advantage of your compulsion, and EA couldn't be happier. Now, some of you might say, but I don't want to spend money, I'm happy to grind out and earn everything through gameplay. And while I respect that, let's talk about what EA's really doing with that so-called grind. EA has made it so difficult for non-spenders to advance that the grind becomes a second job. They slow down the rewards for free-to-play players. You get very little for your efforts, and you'll be stuck grinding for hundreds of hours and hours just to get decent players. And even then, you'll be at the mercy of the same random pack drop mechanic that the players who spend hundreds of dollars on the game get access to. And to add insult to injury, it's all made so you feel like you're not doing enough unless you drop real money. Here's the kicker. EA has learned how to make the grind feel endless, all while pushing the players to purchase the shortcut. Sure, you can grind your way to the top, but it's painfully slow and the odds are stacked against you. For players who want to avoid spending money, they might feel like they hit a wall. That's not a flaw in the system, it's by design. For those who don't mind dropping cash, EA has perfected the art of instant gratification. You get rewarded quickly, it feels good, and it keeps you coming back for more because you're getting better cards. Or so you tell yourself to compensate for the money you spent. This is also an easy way to outpace free players, and EA knows this. They've turned FIFA into an uneven playing field where the players who can afford this rule, and the rest of us are left struggling, creating a sense of necessity for the free players to buy in on the action. Now let's talk about EA's greatest scam of all, the annual release cycle. Every year, EA puts out a new version of FIFA, touting improvements, fresh features and upgrades. But let's be real, how much of this is actually different from the last version? And yet, every year EA is asking you to pay full price for the new game, which we've been playing for the past decade. $60, $70, sometimes even more for just minor updates. They figured out how to resell the product over and over again with just enough new content to make it feel fresh. But here's the problem, it's not fresh, it's the same thing over and over and EA knows this. They're not making a new game, they're making a new version of the same game. But here's the catch, EA has you convinced that this new version is somehow better and worth your money. And every year, you tend to hand over your cash just like the year before. But to be fair, I've fallen for this system as well. I've bought a lot of FIFA games over the years, which I'm not proud of doing. The sad truth is that EA has created a system where you're paying for the illusion of progress. You're not buying an actual better game, you're buying into their never-ending cycle of consumption. And they know it works. We can't forget the history of EA's shady practices. The Star Wars Battlefield 2 scandal is still fresh in our minds, and Sims 2 is at this point a DLC simulator with now 93 different DLCs totaling to almost $1,500. Fans were furious when EA introduced microtransactions in a game that fundamentally changed the way players could access content. It was one of the most obvious examples of a game publisher trying to get the most money from its players by locking essential content behind a paywall. But here's the thing, FIFA is no different. EA has refined its business model over the years to become a slick, highly profitable cash machine. Sure, they moved away from the controversy of Battlefront 2, but make no mistake, their FIFA series is still a perfect example of how game companies are exploiting us for every cent they can get. Take a look at the community's reaction to FIFA 2025. Well, actually it's EA Sports FC 25, but as said at the beginning of this video, I'm referring to this game as FIFA 2025, for the sake of this video. The reviews on Steam tell a story all too well. Overpriced, pay to win, just like the last one, and where's the innovation? Players are speaking up once again about how EA's greed is ruining their experience. The reviews for FIFA 2025 are littered with negative feedback from players who feel betrayed. The game now sits at a review score of mixed on Steam, with only 47% of reviewers tagging the game as positive. Players are tired of being nickeled and dimed every year for essentially the same game. The once thriving community around FIFA is now growing increasingly disillusioned with a company that seems more interested in its profits than delivering a game that lives up to the franchise. But unfortunately, that's nothing new when it comes to EA. And EA? They're doing nothing to listen. They're doubling down on the same practices that got them into hot water with Battlefield 2 and Sims 4. The community isn't fooled. The negative reviews on Steam are the loudest indication that FIFA 2025 and EA as a whole is losing its grip on its fanbase for a while now. EA has found a perfect formula for greed. EA's in-game revenue is massive. They know exactly how to hook you with random rewards and constant FOMO, and every design choice they made revolves around maximizing their profits. But EA isn't alone in this. No, they're part of a much larger trend that's sweeping the gaming industry. Game developers are realizing how much money can be made by pushing microtransactions, loot boxes, and random packs on players. They're all trying to capitalize on the same psychology EA is using in FIFA. But there's still hope for the gaming industry. Last week I released a video about the cancellation of Football Manager 2025, why it's a good thing for players, and how the industry could benefit from the bold step that Sega made by not releasing Football Manager 2025. Link to that video is in the description and on my channel. Gaming should be about skill, creativity and fun, not about how much money you're willing to spend to stay competitive. This is the unfortunate reality of modern gaming, and unless we start calling out and simply not buying these types of games, this pattern is going to continue to grow. So what do you think? Is EA really ruining FIFA with these practices, or are we just too sensitive about how much money games are making? Have you spent money on FUT packs? Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, FIFA players, non-spenders and all gamers. And before you go, hit that like button if you think EA needs to change, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. We need to keep calling out these companies and demand better. See you in the next one.